What is going on, everybody? You are back on another edition of Ballin Over Beers, a fantasy and betting show. This is the Week 8 betting show. I am joined, as always, by my guy, James Fitch. I am Justin Dueppengiesser, and we are here to provide you with all the betting info that you should not follow. I'm just kidding. Follow it if you want, but probably don't. It was a rough week last week, bud.
Yeah, don't listen to me. I have no feel for lines and totals or anything so far this year. There's a lot of season left, and we're gonna get hot. Let's start this week.
Yeah, it's what we do. This is what we do. We get hot. We lost our week 7 bets for some reason, or my stuff's not showing up on our page, so we're not even gonna recap it. That's how bad it was.
I went 1-4. I lost my. Let's talk about the Atlanta-Miami game real quick, because that was your lock of the week, and it was my lock of the week. So I had Atlanta at -2.5, and they were winning by 13 late in the game, and decided to blow that one for me. They're driving, they can go down, score a touchdown to get the cover for me, but they did the smart thing by electing to just kick the game-winning field goal as time expired. So they only won by 2, and those types of games really chap my ass when that happens.
It's like the ultimate kick in the nuts. It's
you
like,
just know.
Yeah, they're just marching down the field. They probably could score a touchdown. Like, they haven't been stopped the entire drive. And they're like,
Miami wants them to score a touchdown. They're not even playing defense.
Yeah, just run. And they're like, nope, we're too smart for that. We're just going to run the clock out, kick a game-winning field goal with no time left. No, that was that worked out well in my Miami stack on our DFS show, which if you haven't checked that out, make sure you check that out as well. That'll be out later this week. But yeah, Tua had a good game. He needed the Gesicki pairing with him. I had Waddle, who was okay, but just not great. But it was that Falcons defense is just not very good. So it is what it is. I got 2 games right. I got the lock with Miami, and then I got another game right. So right now, actually, AK's still leading. He's 3.5 points ahead of me, and then I'm three points ahead of you. So it's still pretty close. Just takes one hot week to get you back on track. And I think this is going to be the week. You know what's crazy too? We're at week 8. Like, this is like we're almost halfway through the regular season already.
The nice part is week 8 is not the midway point anymore.
Not anymore. Not anymore. Not anymore. No, it's just crazy to me how fast it has gone. So let's talk about this week. Obviously, AK's not here with us right now, so we'll go through his picks as we go here. But James, I'm going to give you the honors and let you give us the first pick.
I'll start with my lock of the week. Since the 3 of us are all on this, I'm going to take the Titans +1.5. This just feels like an overreaction to the Colts winning a big primetime game on the road in the monsoon. I think the wrong team is favored here, and maybe come close on Sunday, this game the line will reverse, but the Titans are getting points here. I like that. I think the Titans have played well against the Colts as of recent, and I just like the division, like a divisional matchup, getting points in this one.
Yeah, that's my thing too. Is like the Colts were just on a Sunday night game that everybody watched probably, right? And that's a game that is ugly. The 49ers are not the team I think that people thought they were going to be this year, including myself. They're not. They're just not very good. Right now, and they played an ugly game, a lot of weather. They had what did they call that, like a bomb cyclone or something, which is just wild. So I'm right there with the Titans. This is actually a game I might look to bet and actually put real life money on. And right now, the money line for the Titans is actually +100. So the 1.5 points is nice. I think I actually might even bet the money line on that one just to get the plus money.
I don't hate it.
Next game, I will give AK's game. He's going homer pick with the Bengals -10.5 over the Jets. I looked pretty hard at this game actually, just because the Jets they're just terrible, right? They're just not a very good football team. They have a backup quarterback in now. Zach Wilson is banged up. They traded for Joe Flacco, which is just mind-blowing. And then they said that he's not even going to be there till Friday. So I think Josh Johnson is starting at quarterback. is what I was just reading. It's
Awesome.
it's actually a game that I might look at to, pretty hard into, because I mean that just sounds like a complete disaster for a bad football team.
Yeah, that's not going to go well.
No. Next game for me is the Jags +3 over Seattle. I like the Jags in this one. They're getting, the 3 points. I think Seattle is just not great. They don't do anything very well. Like, they're a solid football team. You watch them against the Saints, and they kind of hung around with the Saints. Like, and that's a home game, and like I don't know how good the Saints are either. I don't think they're bad, but I just don't think they're very good either. Like, I think they're two pretty middling teams, and mostly with Seattle right now, it's Geno Smith, right? You don't have Russell Wilson, they don't have Chris Carson. Alex Collins is fine. Not that running backs move the needle that much, anyways. But like with Geno Smith in there, their pass game is just not as dynamic as it is with Wilson. Like DK Metcalf and Lockett can be pretty well neutralized, and I think that their defense is poor enough where I think the Jags can score some points in this and at least keep it close.
Yeah, I like that side of the game. I don't think Jacksonville's as bad as the record shows. I think Trevor Lawrence just needs to rein in some of the turnovers.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't think Urban Meyer's a great coach, but overall, I don't think Jacksonville's a horrible team. Seattle's pretty much a nobody with Geno Smith at quarterback. I mean, how do you come out and throw an 84-yard bomb and then the rest of the way throw for like 80 more yards? Like, I know the weather wasn't great, but
Yeah.
it seemed like Seattle didn't even really want to give him a chance to air it out much more in that game. So
yeah, in the season long battle that we're in together, I was up, and the last player he had to go was DK Metcalf, and I was up like 30 something points. So that play happens, and immediately he's down like 5. I'm like,
you're
oh my.
sweating.
I was like, come on. Like, one play and he's almost got it covered. I was sweating the rest of the game. Then he had like 2 catches total. I was like, all right, well, that was pretty lucky, but I was dying.
I needed the Saints defense to score like 16 points, and that play happened like right away. And I'm like, that's not happening.
That's a good way to go to bed at halftime right there.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did. They ended up scoring 10, but I needed like a pick 6 or something.
Yeah. They just get so conservative. Like, it's so hard going. Like, they just either hand it off or Geno Smith runs. Like, it's just kind of they're just a blah team to watch.
Bet the under on his passing total every week.
You did what?
I said just bet the under on Geno's passing total every week.
That's honestly a really good call, because Pete Carroll doesn't want to throw it to begin with, and they especially don't want to throw it with Geno Smith. So
yeah.
Why don't you give us your next game?
Yeah, I have the Cowboys -2.5. It looks like we're all on this one too. I just like the number inside of 3. We're going to be inside a dome, so we don't have to worry about weather. I have to keep an eye on Dak's status, but I think he's going to play. I think he'll be fine. I think the Vikings are better than their record shows. I think they're another one of those teams. I mean, they lost a heartbreaker to 2 heartbreakers, I should say, to Cincinnati and to the Cardinals with less second kicks in both of those games. So I think the Vikings are a sneaky, like, good team. I just think Dallas is better and can cover that 2.5 here.
Yeah, AK's on that, like you said, and so am I. And that's actually my lock of the week, and it's actually AK's as well. I think the big thing for me in this one is the Minnesota offensive line is just so poor at pass blocking, and the Cowboys defense is actually pretty decent. They're top 10 in pass rush win rate. So they just have such a big line in the front. And with Kirk Cousins, you get pressure on him, he's liable to turn it over. Like you said, it's in the dome. I think that offense is good. Minnesota's got a solid defense. Their secondary is pretty solid. Their pass DVOA is actually not terrible. I think if I'm looking at this right, just double check. Minnesota, yeah. So they're top 10 pass defense DVOA. So their pass defense is not bad. But the thing with the Cowboys this year, right, is they're loving to feed Zeke and Pollard, and they're running a lot. So I think that bodes well for the Cowboys. So we'll take them both me and AK both have them as the lock of the week. Why don't you go ahead with your next one?
Yeah, I'm going to take big spread here, but Rams minus 14 against the Texans. I think this will be a blowout. We saw the Texans get blown out by the Cardinals last week. And I think the Rams offense pretty explosive. We just saw the Texans trade away this Mark Ingram back to the Saints. So I think the Texans they're not trying. They're kind of throwing in the towel here. I think they're going to get Tyrod back here soon, but he won't be back this week. So I think this is just a good spot for the Rams to cruise.
Yeah, I like that call. I think this is a game the Rams should absolutely dominate. So I got no qualms with that one. Kind of along those same lines, AK's next pick is the Bills minus 13.5 over the Dolphins. The crazy thing, I guess, surrounding the Dolphins right now is the entire Deshaun Watson stuff, right? Like, again, the rumors are going on that Watson's getting traded there. And then the Dolphins are saying, no, and Tua's our quarterback, and Tua's being asked, do you feel like you're wanted here? And I don't know, that whole situation is just wild. Like, they're the Dolphins who look to be promising. They had all the early draft picks, and they miss on basically all of them. The O-line stinks. Now they're talking with all the Deshaun Watson stuff. They're turning into what looked to be a pretty decent team into a real dumpster fire at this point. So the spread shows that, and the Bills are playing really well right now. So I think that's a pretty fair spread. Your Bills.
Yeah, I like it. I don't think they're going to win 35-0, but they've
been crushing the Dolphins every time they've played them lately.
They've had their number the last few years, that's for sure. I think Tua has been playing a little bit better. I think he's pretty careless with the ball. He's going to have some turnovers. I think Tua, if you're looking for a DFS play, I think he's going to be forced to air it out in this game, so he may not be a bad option to look at.
Tua. It'll be interesting to see how that whole thing unfolds here. Trade deadline November 2nd. We're obviously recording this on a Wednesday night like we usually do during the week, but be interesting to see if anything happens. I just can't imagine that it does. So my next pick, Saints +6 against the Bucks. Going back to the well, I'm betting the Bucks. It worked out really well for me when I picked the Bears against them, getting 12 points. So we're just going to bet another shitty team against them, getting some points. We'll see what happens. No, it's Saints at home. They're in the Dome in New Orleans, rival. These games just tend to be closer than you expect them to. Again, I don't think the Saints are great, but I also don't think they're terrible. Like, if you can get Kamara working a little bit, they just gave him, the most targets and receptions he's had all year, which I think is a good sign for their offense. Like, you need to keep doing that. Like, get your best player in football is usually a pretty good sound thing on offense. So, and their defense is actually pretty solid, right? They're pretty decent pass rush. They got a decent secondary. I don't hate it. I mean, they're not great, but I think being at home in the division rival, give me 6 points in a close game, 27-24, something like that.
Yeah, I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to take Tampa minus.
That's just what we do. That's what we do here.
I'm going to take Tampa -6. I just don't think the offense of the Saints is. They have one threat right now. It's Kamara. I don't know. I think it's a divisional game, so I think a tight divisional game could be a 7-point game, and I like Tampa to cover that. I just think the Tampa offense is rolling. Saints defense has been playing well, but I just don't think the Saints can do enough on offense to really keep up.
That is definitely the worry, right? Is whether or not they can do that. So I definitely get that side of it for sure. AK's last pick, I guess it would be, is the Detroit Lions +3.5 over Philly. Detroit's so bad. Like, my thing is the Lions can't pass block. The Eagles actually have a really good pass rush. Their defensive line's like really solid, and Jared Goff is just looks like a complete disaster. The thing you do here and hope for is you hope you play Jalen Hurts in DFS, hope the Eagles score a lot through him, and then bring back DeAndre Swift and wait for him to score all of his fantasy points in the fourth quarter when they dump it off to him 7 times, and hope he falls in the end zone, I think.
Pretty much.
That's what it's been like all year for him. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a ballsy call there, AK. We'll see how that one works out for you.
Yeah, he's not even here to defend how stupid of a pick that was, unfortunately. My last pick is the Chargers -5 over the Patriots. This one I kind of went back and forth on, but at the end of the day, my thing was I don't think that the Patriots can do enough in the passing game to beat the Chargers. I know the Chargers give up a ton in the run game, but that's kind of what they're designed to do. That's what Brandon Staley wants to do. He doesn't really care if he gives up run yards. It doesn't matter to him. He thinks passing is more important, and he stops the pass. And I think that's what's going to happen. They're going to just shut him down. They're going to do enough against the run, and then once they get up a few scores, they're not going to be able to. The Patriots are not going to be able to keep up. So I'll go with the Chargers. And the Chargers got embarrassed, right? So like if they're a good team, which I think they are, this is a big bounce back win for them or game for them.
Yeah, it seems to be every good team just, I don't know, they have those games, right? Like we saw it with Kansas City last week.
Yeah.
We saw it with the Chargers 2 weeks or before their bye, and it's inevitable. Like football is just hard to show up and play a great game every week, especially when you're on the road. So I like them in the spot to come out of their bye pissed off and play a good game.
Get the all right, James. Last game for you.
I'm gonna go with the Steelers +3.5. I like the points. I like getting the hook in a divisional game. It looks like Mayfield's probably on track to play in this game, which I don't really think is a benefit to Cleveland, especially if he's not 100%. I think Chubb's going to be back too, but these games tend to always be on the lower scoring side. They tend to be closer. So I'm gonna take the points in this matchup. I think the Steelers D can minimize the Browns offense. I don't think it's that explosive outside of stopping the run, and I think the Steelers can do enough on the offensive side of the ball with Najee and with Deontay. I like them too. This would be a game that I think. If I'm looking at an underdog and betting the money line, I'd probably go with the Steelers here, but I like them with the points.
Yeah, this is the Steelers D versus Chubb and Johnson of the Browns.
Yeah.
No, it's that's an interesting game. I looked at that one too, and I don't know if I have a good feel for it because, like you said, like with the uncertainty of Baker playing or not, and whether or not it's Keenum, I don't know if it really matters, but the Steelers defense is not the Broncos defense that we just saw the Browns go up against. It's the Steelers defense is better than that, the division rival. So I don't mind that getting the 3.5.
No.
For sure. To recap, AK is taking the Titans +1.5 over the Colts, the Bengals -10.5 over the Jets, the Bills -13.5 over the Dolphins, the Lions +3.5 over Philly. And his lock is the Cowboys -2.5 over the Vikings. I am taking the Titans +1.5 over Indy as well. The Jags +3 over Seattle. Saints +6 over Tampa Bay. The Chargers -5 over New England. And then the Cowboys also my lock -2.5 over Minnesota. James, give us.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Tampa -6 over the Saints. Cowboys -2.5 over the Vikings, Rams -14 over the Texans, Steelers +3.5 versus the Browns, and then my lock of the week is going to be the Titans +1.5 versus the Colts.
I like it. We made it through the bipocalypse and all the RB injuries, and we're on to week 8. And I think this is right about the time where you want to start ramping up and getting hot, right? So this is what every NFL team's trying to do, ramp up for the playoffs, starting to kick it into high gear, almost to the midway point. And I think that's what we're going to do on this show here. But
one of us is.
Probably the one that's not here.
I think he's peaked too soon.
He's peaked too soon, right? He has
too soon.
Too many hot weeks at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
All right. You can find James on Twitter at Fitchy24. You can find me on Twitter at JDiz1617. You can find us at Ballin Over or over at Borderfield Sports. Make sure you're smashing the like button, telling us what your favorite line of the week is. And we appreciate everybody being here. We'll talk to you next week.